Welcome to the Real Film Nerds Podcast.
Happy 4th of July Eve, boys and girls, and welcome to the Real Film Nerds Podcast, episode number 370. It's a very appropriate film for the week of 4th of July. We are talking about an American saga, but before we go there, let me introduce the co-host with the mostest, mysterious Michael Talent.
Oh, hey, everybody. Yes, an American saga, I guess.
So, Michael, how does it feel to see the movie on the day you're recording the podcast because you don't believe in babysitters and you had to watch children all weekend running around having fun, and hopefully you were feeding them lots of candy and goodies and sugar and getting them all hyped up just in time for Max to get home?
They got fed lots of good stuff. Not as much candy, but yeah, they got fed lots of good stuff. And we had a good time. And Matt, it's a little bit different to come like directly. Basically, I just got home and now we're going to be potting. So it's like super, super fresh.
Yeah. And I watched it last week on preview night because I have to talk about it on the radio the next day. But I think the real burning question, Mike, is when are you going to introduce your children to the McRib?
Oh, that is the burning question, and I have no idea, Matt. Is the McRib out, and is it out in my neck of the woods or just your neck of the woods?
No, it is not out yet. It usually comes out towards the end of the year to bolster sales at McDonald's. And it is literally the only time I go to McDonald's is when it is McRib season. But I was just thinking in the back of my head, that's one of those delicious things that children need to be exposed to. And you need to photograph it and you need to frame that photograph and put it on the wall. My first McRib.
Well, Matt, I was just reminiscing with one of my coworkers about McDonald's and growing up going to the McDonald's playground, and it happened to be the McDonald's that ruined America by creating the drive-thru, and now it's a parking lot.
What's a parking lot?
The old drive-thru, because they redid the McDonald's. They built it next door. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No,
they put a plaque up though.
Yeah. No, I remember. Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, I don't remember how long ago. I don't know if you were there in Sierra Vista yet, but the old McDonald's playground?
Yeah, dude.
Like with like the metal, like everything.
Yeah.
And it was super hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how that playground originally was when we first moved to the good old hood of Sierra Vista. That shit, dude, that was like taking your own life into your own hands going on that playground. It was awesome.
Yeah. No, it was good times, man. I remember having a great time there, but like, in my neck of the woods, there doesn't seem to be as many playgrounds at the Mickey D's, so we have to take the kids to the old Chick-fil-A. Seems to be the spot now that has the playground.
So here in Prescott, Mike, because there's no children, they replaced the playgrounds with a funeral home.
Oh, jeez. So it's a combo. You're like, hey, I'll get a quarter pounder with cheese and a plot next to Mary Jane over there in Alpha 23.
Yeah, and you got to go, is embalming extra? Like, if I die halfway through the sandwich, is my meal free? Yeah.
Oh, and they're like, do you want open casket or do you want to be cremated? We have like package deals. It just depends.
Yeah, I guess it really depends on how bad the heart attack is from eating the Big Mac or Chick-fil-A sandwich or whatever it is. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, that is a different approach, but obviously I guess the market is different in your neck of the woods.
Yeah. When your average age in your community is 60, they tend to do things a little different. They just do.
Yeah. When they're like, do you need the Social Security discount? And you're like, no. And they're like, whoa, get the hell out of here.
Dude, I will be honest. I have had people give me the senior discount, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm going with it.
All right, dude. The gray hair's coming good for something.
Yeah, I don't know if they just think I'm old because all the gray in my beard is what makes me look really old. Is really gray, but I'm fine with it. I will take that 10% off, and it's fine. I won't ask. I'm a little insulted, but yet, my
You're not insulted enough to stop it.
no, I'm not. I'm not. You know, now when I order the Happy Meal, they look at me weird, but it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right, so I have bullshitted enough and threw you off hard enough, Mike. This week,
You did.
Kevin Costner's latest film that he gave up Yellowstone for, that motherfucker. Yellowstone is so good. Oh, I know you haven't watched it, but it is so good.
I haven't. I want to watch it. I think me and Mags will start it.
Oh, fuck, dude. It is so good. I think it's on... So it's weird. There was a deal because it wasn't a big hit and they sold the rights to NBC
Okay.
for streaming. And so some of the seasons, I believe, are on the cock, and then the rest of the seasons are on Paramount Plus. It's real
Okay.
weird.
All right. Well, luckily we have access to both, so we'll hit that up.
Yeah. No, I highly recommend it. It's very good. And I'll put it this way. If Mags doesn't like the first episode, she's an animal person, so I'm just throwing it out there. If she doesn't like the first episode, do not watch the rest of the show.
Okay. All right.
So, anyways, all right, Mike, this week, Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 1, written, directed, and starring Kevin Costner, even though he doesn't come into the film until an hour into the motherfucker. But why don't you go ahead and give us the breakdown for it?
Sure, man. So, like you said, we're doing Horizon American Saga Chapter 1. And this one is directed and written by Kevin Costner, but it also has John Bard and Mark Kasdan for writing. And this movie starring Kevin Costner, Sienna Miller, Sam Worthington, Jenna Malone. Let's see who else is in here. There's quite a few people in here. Michael Roker, Abby Lee, and this chronicles a multifaceted 15-year span of pre- and post-Civil War expansion and settlement of the West. Well, Matt, my first words on this are, I wish it would have told me that before I started watching it.
What do you mean? Told what?
What it was about, because I just watched 3 hours and I really don't know.
Yeah, it's a hot fucking mess. It's a hot mess, dude. It is. The writing is all over the place. There's way too many stories.
Way too many stories, dude. It's like five, I think.
At least.
Like storylines, and it's not clear on what is happening in any of them or where we're at, anything.
Right. No, I was going to say that's the worst part is the time jumps. Like you'll have one scene that was like 2 years ago, and then it'll jump forward, and then it'll jump back again in the same story or sometimes a different story. It's a fucking mess, dude, but it is epic. Like, I like it. I think it's pretty decent, but it is a fucking mess, dude. And I hope Chapter 2 cleans a lot of shit up. I'm not going to talk about how Horizon Chapter 1 ends and into Chapter 2 yet until we get into the spoilers. But I have high hopes for it. But yeah, dude, if you don't like Westerns, this is what I said on the radio on Friday. If you don't like Westerns or you don't love Kevin Costner, do not see this movie. You're just going to be confused and you're not going to know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah. So I guess that's my biggest complaint, Matt. You know how we talk about story a lot. This story is just, it's all over the place, man. I feel like it could be an awesome movie if they would have chose to stick with something.
It's too much.
It's
too much.
It's too much. It's too much. And it's beautiful. It's well acted. The story just doesn't make any sense. Like I don't know what to say. It's just like it's nice open scape. Like I don't know. Like I kind of feel like they're trying to touch on the point of view of like settlers and the point of view of Native Americans and the point of view of like the military a little bit, like in all these things, but it's just too much and it's not focused. Like it's just throwing a bunch of stuff out there, and I don't know, man. It's weird. It's weird.
It's a mess. It's a mess. I mean, they're telling all these different stories leading to the community of Horizon, or what will become the community of Horizon, and all the different aspects that you can think of, and smashing them together. And my opinion, I know, it's nice seeing it on the big screen. It's beautiful. The scenery is incredible. It was mostly shot in Utah. It's just very well shot, very well acted. Everything is just fantastic in this film, but the story is just fucking all over the place. I honestly think, and Kevin Costner is fucking going to hate this, if this was a TV show like Yellowstone, or like something on HBO, an epic TV show that goes on, and you tell each one of these stories in an episode or in a season, so much better. Because then it'll be chronological and it'll make fucking sense. The problem is it doesn't make sense because you're jumping around too much, period.
Yeah, I think you're right, dude. I think it's too much content. And I feel like it could have been woven into a story, but you would have had to drop a lot of stuff, and like they didn't want to, and they just threw it all, like, so it's just kind of this visual diarrhea of like, we shot all this amazing footage, here you have to see it, but it doesn't really make sense when we edit it all together. Sorry, go.
Well, and that's the other thing, is no one told Kevin Costner no. Like, you can tell, like, the editing and the length of shit, like, again, it's kind of a spoiler, I guess, but there is a basically 45-minute long massacre scene. Did we really need 45 fucking minutes of massacre? I mean, it was probably the best action set piece of this whole film, but 45 fucking minutes of it, of just brutality, it was a bit much, man. It was a bit much. You could have cut that down to 20 minutes. Cut it in half. It would have been better.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It just, to me, this is kind of like, I hate to say this. I hate it. But I really like Kevin Costner. I like a lot of the things he's done. I feel like this is kind of another Waterworld, dude. Another kind of expensive boondoggle that doesn't, like, I liked Waterworld, but it was really expensive to make, and just, at least that one had a more fluid story. This one just all over the place, dude.
Well, okay. And the other thing too, Mike, is that this was originally supposed to be one film, and they cut it into two parts because how long it was. And so that's why we have chapter 1 and chapter 2. And currently they're filming chapter 3, and Costner is trying to raise money for chapter 4. So theoretically, this is going to be a 12-hour long epic.
And, with all the stories going on, I think it could do that. But I wish there was some sort of, like, something, like some sort of exposition, like just a little bit of exposition of, like, where are we? Who are the people that we need to care? Like, I don't know, man. It's a lot. And, like, the character developments, like, sometimes it's okay. Other times it's like, who is this person? Why do I care about them? Like, there's just weird stuff, man.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. And on top of it, Mike, tell me some of the main characters' names. Like, you don't even know who the fuck these people are. They don't even tell you their names.
Not really. The settlers that are heading out on the Santa Fe Trail. One of the not Owen Wilson. Luke Wilson's character. Was he like captain or colonel or something? That's all we get. Like, okay, cool. Like, there's just a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff.
So I don't want to spoil it yet, but I really think when part 2 comes out, it's going to tighten everything up and make it a lot better. But that's insane to me that it takes 6 hours tighten it all up and make it better. But I don't know. I mean, we will see. We'll see. I don't want to talk about it yet because we're not in spoilers. But before we get into your favorite segments, Mike, which I'm reminding you of right now.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Give me your opinion. Should people go see this in the theaters or not? Should they wait? Should they even waste the hours that's going to be on this film, or should they just pass? For our listeners that don't want to get it spoiled.
Well, so I think it's too long. It's 3 hours and 1 minute, and it was too long. There's too many things going on. I think our listeners should wait. I think they should let us suffer the second movie and see if it all kind of comes together. I would not recommend seeing it right now. Plus, if it's anything like my theater, it's going to be pushed out. Like, there's only like 3 showtimes, I think, at my theater, and there's like, I think, still 48 showtimes of Inside Out 2 and like, another handful, a dozen or so showtimes of Bad Boys. Like, it's going to get just pushed out. It's not doing well, and I happen to go today, Matt. It's the discount day at my theater, so it's $5. There's like 6 people there.
There wasn't a whole lot of people on preview night when I went. I'd say there was maybe 15, 20. But again, it might be the demographics. It could be the showing I went to. I mean, the late show, the last show of the day was 6:00 because it's so long.
Oh, yeah.
And Harkins doesn't do late night movies here at all anymore unless it's a Friday or a Saturday. And so their last showings, they want to have everybody out of the theater by 9:30, 10 o'clock at the latest.
Yeah.
And
so that makes sense.
That's what they're doing here, which is fine. But there was a good, I'd say 15, 20 people in mine, which was fine. But that's opening night, which opening night here, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. It really kind of depends on the film. Inside Out 2 here was packed. Tons of people went to that. But I'm sticking with my opinion on the radio. I think if you love Westerns, you love Kevin Costner, you love big, epic, grand films, I think this is a must-see in the theaters because it's just gorgeous. It's very well shot. It's very well acted. It's beautiful. It's designed for the screen, but the story is rough and it's long. It really needed some edits. But if you're only okay with Westerns, or you're just okay, if you're on the fence, I'll use that terminology. If you're on the fence, wait for streaming or wait till we see part 2 and we'll tell you if it's worth seeing both of them or not. Because this might be a lot of spending time in the theaters, Mike, and I'm up for it. I know you're up for it too, but that's why we do this, is to help our community of listeners.
That's true. And I wanted this to be better than it kind of seemed to be. Like, I was expecting an epic Western, and it is an epic Western, but man, the story is just all over the place. So I think with that, Matt, I'm going to bring us to our next segment. What are you drinking this fine morning, evening, afternoon?
Well, Mike, thank you for asking, kind sir. Since it's 4th of July, I'm trying to lose more and more weight every day. I'm trying to cut back on the beer. I'm drinking a Pepsi Zero, which I've really kind of clung to as the zeros, the Coke Zero and the Pepsi Zero. Coke Zero is awful. Pepsi Zero is so much better. But I have it mixed with a little Jim Beam vanilla.
Oh, nice.
Little, I think bourbon. Technically, Jim Beam is bourbon. So, yes.
Okay.
Delicious.
Awesome. Well, as promised, Matt, I don't have any summer shandy left. So I wanted to get something a little bit different, but I ended up getting a Lagunitas IPA, which is their standard IPA. But at least it's not a summer shandy.
So different, Mike. I won't give you shit. It's fine. You love your IPAs. I understand. I get it. So, all right, Mike, I'm sure you have it, and it's going to be on theme this week. Mike, what is this week's Western dad joke?
I got dad jokes. I don't think they understand, though. Gotta think I'm funny. Other people never laugh, though. Dad jokes.
All right. Why did Kevin Costner always bring a map to Westworld? Or Wild West?
Westworld or Wild West? Which one is it?
Wild West, sorry.
Why did he bring a map to Wild West? Because he was dancing with his wolves?
Dude, you're right. You almost got it because he didn't want to get Dances with Wolves in the wrong direction.
Okay. See, I was close.
Dude, really
I was
close, dude. That was good, dude.
I was close. I'm proud of myself.
Yeah. You got it, dude. You have the makings of a true dad joke pioneer.
Dad joke aficionado pioneer. Yeah. I'll get there. I got to be a dad first, but as far as I know, I am not. So that's good.
Yeah.
With my family's genetic makeup and the more craziness that keeps coming out day after day, it's probably a good thing that I'm not playing genetic roulette with my family's genes.
No, right?
Sorry, Ma. I know she listens to this, so sorry. Anyways, all right, Mike, I know this one is going to be super insanely difficult. The real question is, how many connections did you make? But, Mike, how does Horizon and American Saga Chapter 1 relate to the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Well, I went for the easiest one, at least in my mind, which was the Michael Rooker one from, our favorite Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, Volume 2. And several other Marvel movies. What are the other ones you caught, Matt?
Oh, dude, I don't know. I off the top of my head, no. But Michael Rooker, is one of my favorites of all time. He's one of my favorite actors of all time. He was at Phoenix Comic-Con this year.
Ooh, did you get to meet him or?
I didn't want to pay for that shit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like they charge like $50 or $100 or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, to get a picture with him and an autograph and all that shit. I'm like, you know what? I'd love to meet him, but I'm not gonna fucking do it. So I didn't do it. I paid for autographs for several comic book creators and artists, and they're usually reasonable. It's usually like $10 or $5 or whatever, because they're not, insane celebrities. And I'd rather have stuff like that. I like the signatures of the artists on their artwork, honestly. That's how I see comic books. I know I'm a giant fucking nerd and I'm throwing us off again, but, I love it. I love artwork and I love creativity and visual arts. And anyways, okay, Mike, another one was Tim, I don't know how you pronounce this last name. Guinee. It's Guinee.
Okay.
He was in Iron Man.
Oh, yeah, all right. Great.
So there's the second one for you.
Oh.
But yeah, there's a couple.
All right, dude.
So
very cool.
Anyways, we are now officially in the spoiler section. So I'm just going to start it right off the bat because why the F not? The biggest thing I want to talk about, Mike, is the ending of the film.
Dude.
It didn't end.
I didn't understand. It's like a trailer for the next film with like a bunch of shots, dude. I was like, what the hell is this?
They literally did like a 3 to 4 minute trailer to end the film on what's coming up in Horizon Chapter 2. And I'm like, I was not satisfied at all. And again, I think that's why it's so kind of fucked up, is because how they had to cut it into 2 different films. But again, Kevin Costner, editing floor, dude. Edit your shit.
And then the other thing that was super weird to me was Amazing Grace playing in the credits. Why?
Yeah, that's kind of strange.
Super,
that's a very churchy song.
Super weird, dude. Super weird.
But so the reason why through the whole fucking podcast I keep saying let's wait and wait and wait until Chapter 2 comes out is because Chapter 2 looks absolutely action fucking packed. And you start seeing, at least in the trailer, what's really going on, how everyone of the stories we're following is going to this community of Horizon. Which
you got that a little bit with like they kept showing like the little flyers and stuff, but oh my gosh, dude, like I was confused. Like I was like, is this all the same time? Are we all, or is this different timeline? There's nothing. It's like,
yeah, there's no explanation. And did you notice, Mike, where Horizon is?
No, I didn't even notice.
The San Pedro Valley.
Oh, that's funny.
So it's supposed to be southern Arizona, I think, but they don't say Arizona. And that's why when the tribe, again, we're in spoilers, so just throwing it out there, the Apaches that attacked the first legitimate like settlement, or, you know, also slaughtered the dude and his son that were surveying.
Yeah.
They were Apaches, and they kept saying they were White Mountain Apaches. And I'm like, no, if it's truly the San Pedro Valley where we're from, that would have been the Chiricahuan Apaches, not the White Mountain.
Yeah, dude, I have no idea where they're going. It's just too much, man. I think there's just too much going on. There's a lot of like characters that seemed interesting, but like there's just too much. And then like you're not kidding, man. It was 1 hour before we saw Kevin Costner. And I'm not saying that I needed to see him or he even needed to be in it, but I was just like, I thought he was in it, and I was like, when's he gonna show up?
Dude, he's the poster. There's no one else on the fucking poster. It's him on the poster, and it says Horizon. I know, I was working on the website earlier. That's it. And the motherfucker doesn't show up for an hour.
That was weird, man. That was weird. It's like what movie did we? Furiosa.
Same thing.
The
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Anya Taylor-Joy didn't show up for like an hour, 45 minutes. I was like, she's supposed to be in this, right? Like, I mean, I was just like, it's fine. It's just like, wow.
And she was on the fucking poster, but so was Chris Hemsworth and a bunch of other people. But yeah. So, okay, Mike, one thing I do want to talk about that kind of I'm not super huge on, and I hope they remedy it. So they were doing really good telling the story of the settlers, telling the story of the Manifest Destiny people, basically the white people moving into Native American territory. And they were doing a really good job of telling both sides. And then I'd say 2 hours in, you don't hear anything about the Apache story again. Now, you know it's going to be back, and it's going to be in the second one. But I really think that story, the perspective from the Apache tribe and how half of the tribe is saying, no, you shouldn't have done this. The other half is going, okay, well, fuck it. We're going to do it, and we're going to keep doing more. And if you don't want to be with us, we're going to separate from you. I think that story was very fascinating and really well told and really well acted, and should be more of a focus of this film, personally. But we'll see. Hopefully it is in chapter 2.
Yeah, you're right. They did just kind of drop off, like after the, I guess, faction. They're just seen from the other perspective. So it's like, well, what happened? Like, is it like, this can't just be like, it's over. Like, there's got to be more to it. And I think there will be, but it's just, we haven't.
Yeah.
There was just so much going on, dude. Like, that's the thing.
So much.
It's
yeah,
just,
and there's stories that I think honestly they could just take out.
That story towards the end with like the people wanting the scalps, and like the guy who's like part Native American who speaks like some sort of Native American language, and his son. I don't know if that needed to be there at all, like at all.
That I agree with. I understand what they're trying to do with it. They're trying to show the revenge of, because you know the kid is one of the settlers, and a couple of other people were the settlers that were massacred, and they're trying to show the revenge, and that's clearly going to build and go back and forth and be a horrible, you know, turning point that's going to be in chapter 2, I'm sure. But I don't think the Kevin Costner story needs to be in it at all. I'm sorry.
No.
There's no point to it. He hooked up with a hooker, but didn't hook up with a hooker.
It's like it's a very
adopted a kid.
Yeah,
it's very convoluted.
Well, it's very like a normal Western. Like, I don't know. Like it's you know, a guy shows up to town, a little bit lonely, a little bit torn. Who knows what his history is? Like, it's just, we've seen that like tons of times.
Yeah, it's the stranger.
Yeah, like
yeah, the stranger that comes into, you know, rides in on his horse, you know. But my thing is we don't need that at all. There's that story of the family.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that rule everything over there or whatever. Like, we don't need any of that. I think the story is the cavalry I hope they bring in Buffalo Soldiers, the Apaches, and the settlers that are trying to settle Horizon. Even leave in the stagecoach stuff, leave the wagon train in. That works for me. This story, with Kevin Costner's story, I think is the weakest out of all of them, and it doesn't really
add to
I think it's too distracting.
Yeah, dude. I think I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say that, but I think it really needs to be the focus on coming west and the implications of that, and that's what most Westerns are, and they're trying to mash all these different kind of Westerns in there. I don't know, it might change. Again, I keep saying this, but it might change. Chapter 2 might change the whole fucking thing and make it really good, but, don't wait until we go see it. I guess.
I think the way they should have ended this, instead of doing the weird preview, is they should have just went to black. Like, bam, just black, to be continued. I would have been happy. I would have been happy
to
with
be
that.
continued. And they already have the release date, so put Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 2, coming August 19th
dude,
or
the
whatever
poster
date it is.
that was at the theater had both dates. I'm like, come on, man. Like, why didn't you just do that?
Yeah. They decided, when they had to cut it in half, exactly when the second was going to come out. So just do that instead of having this trailer. Let us have the trailers to entice us in the previews, but whatever. Fuck it. So, all right, Mike, I think we've jabbered on enough about this film. We don't want to make this a 3-hour-long podcast. I really want to know, Mike, how many reels do you give Horizon and American Saga? Chapter 1.
Yeah,
Sorry, got to remember the chapter 1.
All right, Matt. So I'm going to give this 2.5 reels, man. I was really disappointed with the story. It's beautifully shot. It's a Western, but there's just the story, like we harp on so much, was so weird and like no exposition. I'm not asking for a lot, but I mean, there was nothing.
Yeah, and we've talked about it a lot. We always talk about it. The production could be shit. The cinematography can be shit. The acting can be shit. If the story is shit, that's a significant amount of the film. So, Mike, like you, I enjoyed this film. I thought it was great. I thought it was epic. I loved a lot of it. But like you, I think it's just average if we're lucky. And I give it 3 out of 5 reels. So not too much more than
I mean, and I wanted to give it more. And, if I didn't go see it this week, dude, there's a good chance I wouldn't even be able to see it in the theater. Like, I think it's just going to be pushed out.
It's true. It's true. They're going to probably start, kicking it out because they're calling it, one of the most expensive flops to date. They just are. And I don't want to say it was kind of expected, but I mean, the critics fucking slaughtered this film. I think Rotten Tomatoes gave it like 40% or 45%. I'm not sure what the audience score is, but that's what the critic score is.
Well, I mean,
I hate to side with critics, but fuck, dude, they're kind of on the money.
We're not usually agreeing with the critics on a lot of stuff, but man, there's just not a lot here. Like, it's just weird, man. Just weird, disjointed, just all over the place. So this time we agree. Not.
All right, Mike. So the film we're going to talk about for next week's podcast that we're going to see this week, it came out on the same date as Horizon and American Saga Chapter 1, and we went with the less popular film, the one that did not hit number 1 in the box office. I think it's number 1.
2.
It might be number 2. I think it unseated.
Yeah.
Is it number 2? I thought it unseated
It was
Inside
close,
Out 2.
but no, Inside Out 2-1.
Okay, well, it's the biggest release of the franchise to date on opening day or opening weekend or whatever. That's A Quiet Place Day 1. And so I'm probably going to go see it maybe tomorrow. I don't think I'll see it on July 4th because it might be packed. I'm not sure. But I'm going to try and see it here probably in the next day or two. And my mom has already freaking watched it. She actually started out her podcast saying A Quiet Place Day 1. I said, Ma!
Whoops!
Just because that's the last movie you saw doesn't mean that's what we're talking about. So anyways, and that's a rare one too. I recorded my mom's podcast before I recorded ours, obviously because I'm talking about it. But yeah, it's interesting because she just rambled and talked and I'm like, Mom, I don't want to talk about it because I haven't talked about it yet.
Nice. Well, I'm excited to see that. The first Quiet Place was awesome. The second Quiet Place was really good. So we'll see how this one is without John Krasinski at the helm. But it looks fun, looks interesting, and it looks action-packed.
Yeah. No, sounds good, Mike. So with all that said, why don't you do your thing?
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody, and make sure to follow us on the socials. Twitter, X, Instagram, and Facebook. And we'll catch you on the next pod. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you for listening to The Real Film Nerds. Now, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Real Film Nerds. Now, go out and catch a movie.
Welcome, everyone, to Ma Hinshaw Loses Her Cookies, Episode 70, Horizon, an American Saga. Hi, Matt. How are you?
So it's Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 1, because there's Chapter 2, 3, and 4 coming after this.
My bad. I forgot a chapter.
Oh
well.
Shit. Now she's so tired that she's doing accents. This is going to be a bad podcast.
Well, you want me to do British or Texas or Southern? I do accents, you know.
Yes, and you always do them when people that have accents are around, and they take offense because they think you're making fun of them.
I'm not making fun of them. I just can't help myself. It's okay. Okay.
So here Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 1. Now this is an odd one because we are recording Ma Hinshaw Loses Her Cookies, episode number 70, before I record my podcast with Mr. Michael Talent, because he is, I don't know, doesn't believe in babysitters or some shit, or I don't fucking know, and I don't fucking care. So we're here to talk to Ma Hinshaw as she falls asleep and wakes back up and talks in a British accent late night. And no, she has not been drinking. So Ma, Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 1. I'm clearly running your podcast now. Give me your opinions. Ready, set, go.
All right, ready, set, go. I thought it was really good. I really...
Excuse me, this is not in your British accent. Let's go.
Oh, I'm not going to do the British accent, even though there
French?
was a... Oh, shush. Anyway, there was a British lady that was in the covered wagon, and she was very pretty. And she did
You
have
got
a
to see her
British...
titties, too.
Well, I was trying not to say that. I wanted it to be a surprise.
Well, Mom, we all know how much you love nudity.
Well, I don't care about boobs, but whatever. Okay.
How do you not care about boobs? They're delightful. And she had nice little tight perky ones.
Okay. Then I don't like her anymore. Well, anyhow.
Is it because she's British?
No, I love British people. I have friends who are British. I guess they're still British if they're alive. I don't know. Anyway.
You always say you don't have friends, and now magically you have friends from every part of the world. Do you have friends in Buenos Aires?
No, I don't know anybody from there. But anyway, yes, this was real. I thought this was a very beautiful, great cinematography. I just loved that, except I did get confused with where they were at times, but then that's probably because I'm old. I felt like it wasn't terribly clear, but, you know, that's okay. I still liked the movie. I loved it. I loved the Apache, but I felt like the Apache were kind of not given enough, well, I don't know. You know, they could have covered a little bit more about their problems and stuff like that. I thought it was very true what the settlers had to go through, and the burning of their homes, even though they just made their homes out of the trees that were around and stuff. That was an amazing scene, very, very good. And the one woman, and I can't remember her name, who her home was burned, her husband was killed, and she had a little girl, and she was just really, really good. Fit the part. I mean, you'd never think about how strong those women had to be, but they did have to be very, very strong to exist in that kind of wilderness. And they probably all came from, back east, New York, wherever, and wanted to have a new life and property and, a ranch or something. And it showed it very, very descriptively. And I thought it was very good. And then there was the covered wagons. And that was also very interesting because many people came in covered wagons across to the west. And I think the people did not realize how tough it was. Like the British gal kind of trying to wash up with the water and then getting bawled out because, wait a minute, that was their drinking water and they didn't have a lot of drinking water. Things like that. I thought the movie was very good, quite accurate, and I enjoyed it, but I will say it was very long. Oh, and I left out the one, I don't know. Matt, what's the girl's name that played I guess she was a hooker, but I'm not positive, or she was trying to be or something.
No, she was a hooker. Yes.
I thought she was, but
A lady of the night.
a lady of the night. Yes. She was fantastic. I think she was the British
Mary, or also known as Marigold.
Oh, okay. Anyway, she was
Played by
really
Abby Lee.
Abby, that's it. And I had it written down and doggone it, my notes got messed up. But anyway, Abby was really, really good because she ends up with this little boy that she had been watching. The parents get killed and she rides a horse with this child in her lap through the movie. I mean, my goodness, she was very good. I mean, and she was just a fun actress. She really nailed the part. I thought all the actors in this were very, very good people too. And I think everyone would really enjoy it. And did you enjoy it?
I'm not here to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it with Mike. I'm here to facilitate you talking about it, you old bat.
Okay, thank you. Anyway, I really did enjoy it. And it was interesting to me because they had the cavalry come and help them when their homes were burned out and everything. And I lived near Fort Huachuca, which originally was for cavalry, and actually they helped the settlers here because this was Apache area and Cochise. And so I don't know. I wonder if they kind of got some of the ideas from, I don't know, this area. But anyway.
Well, Mom, if you would have read or Dad would have read it to you or whoever, it's Horizon is in the San Pedro Valley.
Well, hecky poo, we have the San Pedro.
Exactly. And it's the Apaches, but they said they were the White Mountain Apaches, which is not true because the San Pedro is nowhere near the White Mountain. So it would have been the Chiricahuan Apaches,
right?
Which would have been Geronimo.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Which is where I got a little confused because.
Well, it's not a historical film, Mom. It's fictional.
No, that's true. That is true, But anyway, yeah, and the San Pedro is still there a-flowing, and the fort is still there too. But
The
anyway,
fort from this movie, even this fictional movie.
no, the real fort from when it was real, and all that, when they had the cavalry here. It's really, very historic. But anyway, no, the movie I thought was very good, except, like I say, it was long. And,
How many times did you fall asleep?
2 or 3, I think. Yep.
See, that's not the sign of a good movie if you fall asleep that much.
Well, 2 or 3 isn't bad, considering I'm an old critter. Probably young people wouldn't, but, considering I'm old and it was 3 hours, don't blame me. I had a little nap here and there, but not much. Oh, and the horses were beautiful. Oh, my gosh. Those horses didn't look like they had been ridden hard and put up wet. They were pretty and shiny and clean, and they were beautiful horses. Loved that. It was really neat. Anyway, that's my
Again,
view.
it's fictional, Mom. I'm sorry I have to keep reminding you that, but
I know it's fictional, but those horses look real to me.
oh, of course the horses are real. That's why they're so shiny and pretty, is because they're not working horses. I mean, they're working horses, but not real
Well,
working horses.
right, that's true. Anyway, but I think it was good. I think Kevin Costner is trying to show some of our history, which needs to be shown. I think it's very good. And not in a flowery, fancy way, but quite realistic. Anyway, there you go.
So are you looking forward to 9 more hours of this story?
Yeah, I really am. I'm looking forward to the Saga number 2. Mm-hmm. And
Well, that'll
then,
be in August, and then they're filming 3 right now, and he's trying to get money to do 4.
oh, bless his heart. I don't know if he'll make it, but I hope so. Yeah.
Okay,
Because-
so how many horse apples do you give Horizon and American Saga Chapter 1?
That sounds kind of bad.
Horse apple cookies?
No. That's okay. That's okay.
Okay, well then what kind of cookies would they have had in the Old West?
Probably. Oh, I have an Old West cookbook, and pretty much they made snickerdoodles. So we'll say snickerdoodles. Okay.
Cowboy cookies?
Yeah, that's it. Anyway,
Do you think cowboy cookies are made out of cowboys?
I hope not. Ugh. Mm-mm. Nope. But anyway, I think they used ginger. It might have made ginger cookies a lot, but they also made kind of the sugar cookie snickerdoodle type stuff. Anyway, I give it 4 out of 5.
Well, how many did you rate it on the radio? Do you remember?
I think I rated it 4.
No, I think you rated it a 5.
I did?
Pretty
Oh,
sure
well.
you did.
Okay, I'm addle-pated, I guess. Well, then I'll give it a 5, but I swear I gave it a 4. Well, okay. Never mind.
Okay, well, it's either a 4 or a 5. I don't know. I don't remember, Mom. This is why you need to remember your own damn rating. That's why I tried to get you to use that app so then you would remember.
Oh, yes. I guess I need to remember the app. Oh, gracious. Anyway. Yeah. I thought it was very good. I think people should support it and go and see it. And the scenery was just cinematography, beautiful, beautiful. Really. So go see it, folks.
Oh, Lord, this is the hell that is my life.
Okay.
Okay, so, Mom, what movie did you already see that you started to talk about at the start of this podcast, even though it's not until next week?
Oh, golly. You have to ask me that now. Now
The
that
Quiet Place Day 1.
Now that I'm not supposed to talk about it, because I can't talk about it till next week.
Yes, but is that what you're talking about next week?
That's what I'm talking about next week.
That's what I'm asking.
Go see it, folks. Yes. Fireplace. Day
I need a
one.
cocktail.
Yeah, you'll need a beer after that. I know. Oh,
See,
well.
and you wonder why I do so many drugs.
I do wonder at times.
Because I
Anyway.
have to deal with you.
Yes, I'm a problem person, but you got to go see that one. It's really, I can't give my opinion yet, but go see that movie too, also. Okay. You got 2 movies. That's like, let's see, 5 hours of movies. That'll ruin a day, right?
Why do you want people to ruin their day? You're supposed to go to movies and enjoy it.
Oh, I did. No, you go and enjoy the movies and be cool. Because it's cool in there in the movies. So, cool off, have a drink, and watch a movie or 3 hours of, That's all I have.
Okay, are you done mumbling?
Yes, I am.
You're sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, thank you everyone for listening to Ma Henshaw rants about a movie that she liked but she didn't like, but she fell asleep 3 times in. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's not my show. Enjoy it. We will return next week with A Quiet Place Day 1, the horror movie that my mom already watched before recording even this podcast. I mean, honestly, I'm glad you have a hobby, Ma, but you could have waited a little bit.
Look, I had to see that.
Yeah, and you could have watched it on Thursday like me, but no.
Thursday? It's 4th of July.
Yeah, and people are going to be at the movie theaters because it's going to be hot.
Yeah, but I don't think I could get a lift. So I went when I went. So there. Okay? Okay.
Oh, Lord. All right. Well, thanks again, everyone, for listening. We will chat at you next week.
Bye.